Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream or the VOD. I'm Luke Miller, I'm a game developer, make gay games like The Beat. I love queer games in general. I'm helping out with the Queer Games Festival, and part of that is I'm taking screenshots of games. And I thought, well, since I'm playing through them to get these screenshots, I may as well stream it, get some experience streaming. Um, yep, so that's why we're here. We're playing a game today called Death Becomes You. I know nothing about it. I know nothing about these games. I come into them completely cold. That's part of my enjoyment factor. So if you're not ready for some surprise content, look away. These games, they can be dark, they can be funny, they can be rude. I have no idea. My reaction is normally to sort of chuckle, no matter what's happening on screen. So if you don't like that reaction either, well, apologies. Well, sort of an apology, but not really. Um, yeah, I mean, just already looking at this game, it's super polished. I mean, look at that logo. Oh man, that is good logo. That's a good looking logo. All right, let's get going. Start. I hope the sound's all right for everyone. With those words stuck in my head, I bounce between really wanting to see Lyra. Lyra? Lyra. We'll say Lyra. No, Lyra. And being stubborn. She was right to be mad. I know this, but how do I break the silence that lasted a whole week? A silence that created a guilt so strong that each time I close my eyes, I see how hurt she was. I miss her. But all I did was ask a simple question about a silly rumor. Why has it become so complicated? I'm forcibly connected to the hive mind, and I blink back the strange sensation. Even though I've used the campus hive mind messaging system countless times, I'm still not used to the tingle that creeps over my eyes. Ah, that's a nice effect. A message flashes across the back of my eyelids. Mentor reassignment approved. Further details will be provided as soon as they're finalized. Have a nice day. Oh, and then I'm out again, cut off from the campus hive mind with a new message stuck in my head like a bad song. I shoot up from my bed, my eyes sting mercilessly, and not just from the hive mind ping. Really, really love the word hive mind. I can't believe she went through with it. She's getting rid of me. Lyra has been my mentor since I began at the academy. We had a little argument, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't irredeemable. We're still friends, aren't we? Suddenly, my stubbornness is a lot easier to tame. My eyes flutter, spelling out my thoughts. A sharp pain connects me to her, and off it goes. I'm sorry, can we talk, please? Sydney. I wish the message didn't sound so desperate, but honestly I am. She's my friend. That's why I asked about the rumors. It's because I don't want to believe them. But she had laughed at me in response. Then she got quiet. I'd never seen Lyra so tense before. She floats around the campus with a smile on her face, and people flock to be her friend, the way I did, the way I was. I was proud to be her friend. I still am. I'm grateful that she chose to guide me through what could have been a really rough first year. Lyra always says that unless your mentor is willing to devote every waking moment to you, you'll never survive the first year. Lyra is that kind of mentor, so dedicated to me that it was hard not to become so close as we did. She is the force I need to keep going on the worst of days. Okay, we're friends, I can tell. My heart bucks and hope spurs me forward. I tug at my shoes on and stumble out the door. That's a nice background. Oh, nice talk box as well. You could do a whole Tumblr just devoted to talk boxes. Like, it's such an art. Like, I've never mastered it myself. I don't realize how late it is until the cold air smacks me in the face. Maybe I should get a jacket, but I want to see Lyra. Lyra? Wow. So, like visual novels, I guess, they have a certain kind of style. So anything that kind of, whenever you see a new trick that I've never seen in a visual novel before, it's quite noticeable. And just then, that little sort of run forward was pretty cool. I have a theory about the Queer Games Festival this year that we're seeing the first crop of visual novels from people that grew up with visual novels. So it's a genre that if you've got a story to tell but you're not a programmer, a visual novel has historically been a really great way to make that game. But they've got a reputation for being a bit low tech, right? Or not very gamey, because they're really all about the story, not so much the game side of it. But I think what's happened is you've got people who've actually grown up with visual novels and they love that genre. And now they're making visual novels. And it's not because, they've got a story to tell and this is the only way they can tell it. It's because they want to make a visual novel. Like that's their preferred genre of game. And they're very literate in the genre, they're in the format. And so, whereas that first crop of visual novels, they were probably quite lumpy, I guess, because the people making them were like, I've got a story to tell and I don't really know the format. The visual novels I've seen in the Queer Games Festival this year, they're just like a lot more sort of game literate. Like the people know the genre and they know what works and they know what doesn't work. Anyway, I think it's super interesting, really interesting, because visual novels, like, they just don't get that kind of, like, it's so strange because I think people are interested in visual novels, especially academics are interested in them because they're quite accessible, but at the same time they just fly under everyone's radar. But I'm kind of wondering if visual novels we're about to have a bit of a, what do you call it, moment with visual novels, or we're about to sort of have a sort of next gen visual novel moment. Very exciting. I run towards the quiet all of that just from a little wobble on the camera. I run towards the quiet side of campus where the mentors live. I want to sort this out and to be her mentee again. I want to hear her voice. Ha 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 ha. The voices? I look around, but it's late. Not even a stray is out. I definitely heard something. I walk closer to where the sounds are coming from. That's gold. Lyra, you've got to be kidding me. Is this all you wanted to say? Lyra. It's her voice. I start running again before I can think about it. You were quick, I'll give you that, but not quick enough. She's coming to get you. Lyra's voice cuts through the silence from the balcony above. Her melodic laughter sounds different than usual to me, but I know it's her. There's no doubt that it's her voice. There's a bite to it I've never heard before, but there'll be a reason for it, like there's a reason for the rumors. We can talk and I'll know there'll be a reason. People are just jealous of her. We can definitely sort things out. From behind me, a thud, a crack, a hollow squelch. Oh no. Oh no. My heart lurches into the wallows of my stomach. I'm close to panicking before I even turn around, imagining the worst, hoping for the best, seeing the worst. Lyra. Her bones jut out from her flesh at unnatural angles. Holy moly. Blood. Why is there so much blood? The pool of red seeps outward, as if making its way towards me. I force myself to step forward to get closer to her. Get up. Please get up, Lyra. I can't get any closer, no matter how much I want to be there for her. I can't. Lyra? Lyra? Damn it. Get away from her. I'm sorry, The student drags me back by my shirt collar, holding me there as she inspects every inch of me. Miss Daniela. What did you just say? Sorry? I nod. Her gaze sucks coherent thought out of me. I don't even know what I'm sorry for, but I am. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Tears drip down my face. I want to tell Lyra that I'm sorry. I want her to know how I feel. If I say it enough times, will that make all of this go away? Save your sorries for someone who can use them. She lets go of me like she's touched something dirty. I flinch away from her, my numb body stumbling back. It's a bit of heavy breathing on stream. I scuttle backwards, my hands slipping in blood. I scream. The sound pierces my throat until I'm out of breath. Oof, this guy, he's a little bit perky for what we're seeing. God, those eyes are massive. Those are some anime eyes. I mean, he looks about 15. A hand, unfazed by the streaks my fingers paint off her sleeve cuff, helps me up. What happened here, Sydney? You know me? Yes, I know you. You're Lyra's mentee. You don't know me, I suppose. I'm her childhood toy come to life. My panic ebbs and flows each time I blink. Why? This guy's blinking an awful lot for a visual novel. This guy is like, is he the villain? Because he's freaking me out. I don't know what spell she's using, if she's casting magic at all, but I want to feel calm, so I stare deeply into her glowing... Oh, it's my mistake. It's not a guy. It's a young lady. Still, she looks 15. I'm Apolline. I want to say Apolline, but I think it's Apolline. Lyra might have mentioned me. Maybe not a lot, but enough that my name rings a bell. I'm 100% convinced Apolline is the murderer, just based on the blinking. No, she never did, I'm sorry. No, don't be, that sounds like Lyra. She laughs, but no joy glitters in her green eyes. As calm as I feel, I know this person is manipulating me with some enchantment. I shouldn't be this calm, not why Lyra is over there. I pull away from Apolline and panic hits me again. She was doing something to me. This is why Lyra never mentioned Apolline. Lyra would never let someone control me like that. Not when I'm only a first year and can't defend myself. Did I offend you? No, yes, I... Two students run towards the scene, hand in hand. When they catch my eye, they stop suddenly. Who are they? Oh dear, and I thought 3 was a crowd. The purple-haired student glares at me and stands before the blonde as if shielding her. We came as soon as we heard. The screams. We heard screams. Is she alive? No, Sydney made sure of that. Me? Daniella's eyes never meet mine, but she cuts everyone else down with a glare. The blonde shrinks behind the purple-haired student, and Apolline shuffles away from me. You found her. Was that only a coincidence? Yes. How did you do it? Daniella, what are you... You heard her. She keeps saying she's sorry. What are you so sorry about? I didn't do this. Why would you apologize for something you didn't do? You can't do this, Daniella. This is... I'm going to take a screenshot. Dum-de-dum, de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. Nice. This is murder. Oh wait, that's an even better screenshot. I didn't do this. Why should we believe you? My head snaps to the sour-faced student, who won't even look at me. Her eyes never leave Daniella's. I'm her friend. I'd never do this to her. I look to the one person who might have my back, but Apolline is also looking to Daniella. My last hope dies. Maybe it is a little suspicious. Please, I didn't do anything. Please believe me. Let's hope the authorities believe you. The Muggle authorities? I don't know. Who's coming to investigate this crime? No, we can't. Sophie, we can't. Do we have any other choice, Alice? Sophie, ignore her. It's not your choice to make, Alice. Apolline, call the administrators. They can sort this out. Call the police. Call an ambulance. Something. Gee. Use your hive mind to get an ambulance here. Apolline looks at me with a weak smile. If you're innocent, Sydney, then it'll be fine. They'll find out what really happened. And if you are guilty, straight to the Dementors. I want to agree, but what if they come to the same conclusion? What if they take the easiest course of action and blame me for it? It's true. No. No, but why worry? If you're innocent... They all stare at me. I am, but... You know... I've got a guilty face. I'm alone. None of these people will help me. None of these people would go out on a limb for me the way lie. My eyes catch Lyra's knee, wrenched back at an unnatural angle. Ugh. She's the only person I have. I didn't do this, but I'm scared. Well, how do we know you didn't do it, Sydney? I mean, we are playing as you, and we did follow you around, but I'm not convinced. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, that's fine. Just checking my emails while I'm on stream. Why not? I feel a small hand touch mine. Alice, the blonde-haired student, holds my hand and smiles at me with all the radiance of a spring morning. I mean, there's a lot of, like, smiling and eyes locking while there is a dead body just lying there with blood pooling. It's a little bit disturbing. We'll help you, Sydney. I don't believe that, but who else can I trust now? That smile might only be to sweeten the lies. We won't let anything bad happen to you. Then it's decided. Sophie, come with me. We need to move Lyra before this becomes bigger than us. No, no, no. Don't mess with the crime scene. What about us? Didn't you just promise to take care of Sydney? You and Apolline can see she gets back to her dorm safely. As we walk away, I take one last look at Lyra. Daniela turns Lyra's face away from me, revealing the hole at the back of her skull. Sophie presses her hand against it. What are they doing to her? Neither of them flinch as they lift, blood dripping and broken limbs dragging behind them. My gut grips onto my supper, and I hope it stays there. As I walk away with Alice and Apolline, I hate the relief I feel knowing I'm away from Lyra's corpse. I was dying to see Lyra, but now that she's dead, I can't wait to get away. Oh, that's a nice background. Hey, I'm Alice, but you probably already caught that. Teehee. I know she's trying to make me feel better, so I go along with it, hoping any talking is better than this guilt. What guilt? I'm Sydney. I'm glad that it's hard to think about Lyra while I'm talking to Alice, because I'll scream again if I do. Nice to meet you, Sydney. I force on a smile as bright as Alice's, while Lyra bleeds. This game is like, the tone is a little bit, what do you call it? It's toggling a bit between like quite gruesome and quite sort of anime bright eyes kind of thing. No, I won't screenshot that. I was like, maybe that'd make a good screenshot. Are you ready to meet Apolline? She's a mentor for elemental magic. Lucky for her, she's my major, so she gets to see me all the time. Oh, and you've already met Apolline. Nah, I mean, Apolline is like the scariest computer game character I think I've ever seen. I think the eyes are just like 1% too big. Alice has got good eyes. Apolline has got like Nietzsche eyes. If you stare into the abyss stares back. I would if you ever showed up to lectures. Guilty. Alice and Apolline both seem to like the type that smile a lot, which is almost infectious. Oh, both seem like the type that smile a lot, which is almost infectious, but it's not enough for me to shake the gloom that's gripping me. Yeah, because what? Oof, I think you need to be listening to your emotions a bit better. You've just witnessed a murder. You've seen a lot of blood, and it's a friend that you had a fight with before they died. Like, I think you should be... Now's not the time to smile, that's what I'm saying. You're a first year, right, Sydney? You'll be picking a major soon. You got any ideas what it'll be? No, it's a big decision. The biggest. Having a mentor makes it easier to choose. It would if they weren't such egotists. Not you, Apolline. You're wonderful. Thank you, Alice. My mentor wasn't like that either. Oh, who's your mentor? Lyra, or used to be. Oh. She had me reassigned, so technically she's not my mentor anymore. That sounds a lot like her. That's the second time Apolline has said how something sounds like what Lyra would do. Is she rubbing in how well she knew Lyra? That's not true. Well, she usually doesn't last a semester with a mentee. She must have liked you. It's like I said, we were friends. Can I really sound so smug about it when she dropped me too? Apolline is watching me, and I get the feeling she's thinking the same thing. Friends, huh? Lyra having friends seems odd. There's nothing odd about it. We'd still be friends now if I didn't ask her stupid questions about stupid rumors. She might even be alive now if I'd kept my big mouth shut. I wasn't a good friend. I should have believed her, no questions asked. If I had, she might. Tears choked me and I shut up. I've brought back the elephant in the room. I need to stop being such a coward. You don't need to do that to be a good friend, Sydney. Do what? Blame yourself. It's as useful as punching yourself in the face. It just hurts. I laugh a little, weakly, and just as quickly stop. I scrub away the tears with my sleeve. I can't think like that. It is my fault. The truth is, Lyra does what she wants to and has a talent for making you think you had some sort of control over it. You shouldn't take on more than your fair share of responsibility. Some people don't need a reason to make a bad choice, and letting you go is one of Lyra's bad choices. Oh, I think that's great. Let me just ponder that for a moment. You shouldn't take on more than your fair share of responsibility. Tick. Some people don't need a reason to make a bad choice. Some people don't need a reason to make a bad choice. I really like that concept. Some people don't need a reason to make a bad choice. Am I one of those people? If I ever make a bad choice, I'll ponder it. Maybe it was a good choice, for you at least. I'd put it another way. Lyra doesn't make good choices, but rash ones. Unless Daniela is there to hold her hand, she's just a chaotic whirl of desires and passions. I don't think letting me go is one of them, though. I hurt her. Shut up, Sydney, before you say something you regret. I wanted to kill her. Oh wait, no, I shouldn't have said that. There was a rumor about her hurting one of her old mentees. No. It isn't true, right? That she was taking magic from them without them knowing? I should stop talking. Why would these people be honest if Lyra couldn't be? I know it's not true. Lyra wouldn't. I was just... You were concerned. And you should be when you hear something nasty like that. It's a good thing you asked her about it, Sydney. When there's smoke, there's fire and all that. But Sydney doesn't need to dwell on these things. It's over now. Appeline's eyes look so empty and my gut twists. She's telling the truth. Oh, look at those eyes. God, stop it. I think the body language doesn't help. Because Appeline's a bit like, I want you to trust me, but also, like, I'm holding my ball of negative dark magic. It's barely contained within my body. She's telling the truth. She's never lied once, but that's what worries me. She's too clever to be telling me the whole truth. We come to the second-year dormitory. Alice hovers by the door, taking in a deep breath. Here at Hogwarts. I do want to make sure you're alright, Sydney. Tonight was intense, so if you ever need a friend, my dorm room is 686. Do I need to remember that? Hopefully not. You should come and talk to me about whatever, whenever you want, okay? I'd like that, Alice. Thank you. We are 20 minutes into it, and we have not had a single choice. It has literally been hitting the word enter, the enter key. Alice pulls me into a hug. She smells like daisies and lavender. She moves her face so the heat of her mouth is against the crook of my neck. Oh, we like Alice. I'd hate to know what I smell like after all this. I mean, you actually are covered in the blood of your friend, so whatever blood smells like, that's what you smell like, Sydney. Don't worry about Lyra, Sydney. I mean, I think if I saw someone die and it was a friend of mine, I don't think I'd be like... I don't know, I think there'd be paperwork or something. I think there would be a call to the police. I think there would be, like, some tears. Yeah. She whispers into my skin, quietly enough to keep Appeline from hearing. She did it to herself. Alice pulls away, giving me a quick peck on the cheek before disappearing into the dormitory. I scrub the spot on my cheek that Alice had touched. Oh. I can't let her talk about Lyra like that. I don't know, Sydney. People have been trying to tell you something about her. You're not hearing it. But she knew what she was doing, being nice to me to cloud my judgment, but her sweet exterior must be hiding something sinister. Too much sugar is sickly. Appeline and I continue on to the first year's dorm in silence. Appeline watches me and doesn't hide it. She even boldly catches my eye when I look back at her. Did she hear what Alice said back there? I shiver at the thought. I would never have remotely considered what Alice had said. Lyra and I were about to talk it out and go back to being friends. Why would Lyra do that to herself? Oh, so Alice thinks that Lyra killed herself. No, wait. Sydney thinks that Alice thinks Lyra killed herself, but I don't know if that's what Alice meant when she said she did it to herself. Don't go there. I sniff back the tears, trying to hold it together. I can't start crying, not now, not until I get back to my own room. Why? Just cry. Cry, man. I don't believe that Lyra would have done something like that. Why would she invite me to meet up if she was planning to? Unless she wanted me to see it, she wanted me to know it was my fault. Ugh. I mean, Sydney's young, I guess, but this is a very convoluted thought process for her. No, she didn't. Alice is lying. That makes more sense than Lyra. Sydney? I walk faster. The dorm is in view. I need to get there before I can deal with these thoughts. It's all my thought. The thoughts don't stop no matter how much I want them to. Screenshot. Maybe she did do this to herself and she wanted me to know it. What kind of friend would do that? My thoughts keep cycling, passing through the same points each time. Sydney? Lyra wasn't like that. She wouldn't do that to me. Alice, you liar. Sydney. I spin around as Apolline is holding out a tissue. I snatch it up and scrub the tears away. Alice was right. Tonight has been intense. Don't say a word, Sydney. Talk and it'll all come out. Just hold it together. I nod. It helps to rattle my brain enough, as if it could... I nod. It helps to rattle my brain enough, as if it could disrupt my cycling thoughts and help me not to cry. I was wondering, does the first year dorm still have that broken coffee machine on the 3rd floor lounge? How big is this dorm? Yeah, I think so. Why? I want a coffee, of course. Another nice background. Apolline holds the lounge door open for me, and I guess that's her way of saying she's seeing me all the way here, to my room, just like Miss Daniela asked. It doesn't work, you know. Ah, but we're magic, remember? I perk up a little. I mean, if you do have magic, then why are you drinking coffee? Like, just, you know, click your fingers and summon up some heroin or something. I perk up a little, wondering what kind of spell you could use on a coffee machine. Then, thud thud thud. Apolline slams her palm against the machine, and just like magic, but not quite, the coffee machine spits out a cup, filling it with sludgy brown liquid. Okay, that's funny. That was witty. Nothing like it. Oh, maybe that's why they don't need the magic drugs, because they actually like coffee. Apolline hands me the cup. After a few cautious sips, it's hard to disagree. 2 long gulps soothe the last knots of tension in my body. Apolline smiles expectantly at me when I hand the cup back. It hits the spot after such a stressful night. A little too well. Yeah, you're not going to sleep now. I promise I haven't done anything to it, Sydney. Oh. Why would you say that? Why would you need to say that to someone? It's like you give them a drink and they drink it and you go, I promise I didn't do anything to it. Yeah, that reminds me of a thing. Well, let's not talk about that. Okay. That's not what I meant. Saying that, now I am a little worried. Apolline is a mentor, so her spells go way beyond my own. And Apolline has already proven she'll throw me under a bus if Daniela asks her to. Oh, I see, yes. What's to say she's not doing that now? All I can do is trust her, but nothing about the situation is reassuring. If you need to talk, Sydney, I'm here too. I guess you also want to be my friend. I snort. How gullible do these people think I am? Sydney is a lot of work. I've got to be honest. Sydney is like... she doesn't know which way is up, this poor girl. I mean, I wouldn't trust Apolline either, but I mean, you know, if you don't trust them, don't, like, follow them to your room. If you want me to be, do you need another friend, Sydney? I mean, I hear you have an opening. Sorry. After what happened to my last friend, are you sure you want to do that? Maybe I'm a bad omen. I don't believe that's what happened, Sydney. Then why'd you say that I seem suspicious back outside? We do need to be careful. Even though I don't think it's you, we can't rule anyone out yet. That doesn't explain Miss Daniela's accusations. Daniela knows what she's doing, and I'm sure she agrees with me that we can't rule anyone out. She probably has a plan to get to the bottom of this. None of that felt like it. Shut up before you say too much. Every part of me wants to trust Apolline. No! But I know that's the coffee talking. There's no way I'd be willing to bear so much to this stranger no matter how nice her eyes are. It could be a spell. Maybe that's why I suddenly feel calmer after looking into her eyes back outside. Sydney, we all need someone we can trust. Please don't be afraid to trust me. Maybe. I try to divert the conversation, the way Lyra would, to keep things light and fun, and stop us talking about things that are too uncomfortable. You said Lyra talked about me. All the time. If only I'd known to change the topic. Last time Lyra and I spoke, before it was too late. What did she say? She thought you were a very eager student, very agreeable and fun to be around. You said you were arguing? Did she say anything about it? I don't think so, but Lyra liked to keep a brave face. When you're special to so many people, you have to keep your image up. I don't think many people got to know her very well because of it. She wasn't like that with me. I got to know her. Sure you did, Sydney. She'll make you think that, but she knows how to adapt. Lyra knew she had to do that because whatever she is hiding is just too ugly a thing to forgive, no matter how special she is. Oh. I take the last swig of my coffee, trying to hide how uncomfortable her words had made me. I mean, that's a pretty big thing to just drop out there, Apolline. I know Lyra like no one else does, even if Apolline thinks otherwise. I think we better call it a night, don't you? I nod. I mean, they literally dragged away the dead body without calling the police. Or the wizard police or whatever. The magic police. I'm like, I don't think you can trust any of them, Sydney. I promise to look out for you, Sydney, like a substitute mentor. Although you probably won't need me very much. Lyra said you're strong, resilient even. Me? She said that about me. Yeah, she did. She also said that you would always cover up for your friends, even if they murdered someone. All the time. She never said that directly to me. We're all here for you, Sydney. Having Daniela as a mentor won't be anything like what people say it is. She's very attentive and will steer you down the right path. Wait, Miss Daniela is going to be my new mentor? Don't be a stranger, Sydney. My office door is always open if you need an ear or tissue, or coffee even. Item unlocked. Coffee. Apolline leaves. The beginning of a blustery night is silenced the moment the door closes on her. I'm alone again. I put the half-finished coffee on my desk and lay back on my bed, staring up at the ceiling. Lyra, if only I hadn't doubted you. After what feels like hours. The tears finally slow down, but I can't seem to catch my breath. I smother my face with the pillow, hoping it'll do the same for my thoughts. Everything remains so loud. I'm sorry. I ruined everything. Why aren't you here? I promised to be better if you'd come back, Lyra. There are so many things I still wanted to do together. Why did I waste the last few days we could have had together? And now they'll never come back. Poor Sydney. Then silence, as the panic burns all thoughts to a white-hot intensity and presses down on my chest. It crushes me until I'm breathless and I scream, sobbing pitiful tears into my pillow. I'm scared for my life, as scared as Lyra was when she fell. I'm crying all over again. I cry until I'm so tired my body shuts down and forces me to sleep. It's dreamless sleep, haunted by Lyra. Doesn't seem very dreamless then. My only friend in this whole world, gone. Those eyes are something else on Lyra. Those are some red eyes. Lyra, I'll make this right. There must be something I can do. 7 days later. I love that hall effect. I'm going to let it go and see whether it's like an animation or are they zooming out on a PNG or something. Could be shader. Alright, I'm going to say shader. Let's save it. Collection? Coffee. That's cool. Let's return. How long have we got? Half an hour. We'll go a bit longer. I think we've barely scratched it. Like we barely scratched the other game today as well. That's just the way it is, I guess. We're here for the screenshots, not for the story. A week has passed, yet I can't say it. I can't think about it in nicer terms, that Lyra's gone. She isn't here, I'm alone. I can say that I'm alone, but admitting that she's dead. I haven't gone to that point, but I need to, because I can't keep this up much longer. Sydney, Your friends dragged the body away, okay? Nothing looks guiltier than that. I hold myself away, waiting for someone else to notice and to serve justice, because there's no way Lyra did this to herself. Whoever did it is still out there. I need to do something useful, but I don't know what. I've been searching the campus hive mind, logging in religiously over the last week, looking for anything about her. Nothing is different. Even though she's gone, nothing has changed. What should have changed? Everyone knew her and adored and revered her, yet not a single person is talking about why she's not here. I mean, this is the thing I got out of the Harry Potter Wizarding World stuff, right? Is the Wizarding World is actually really, really dysfunctional. Like, they have these massive problems, but they don't talk about it. It's because they kind of don't have, like, processes and practices and, you know, meritocracy and, you know, like a free press, kind of a robust free press kind of thing. It's just, I don't know. I don't actually think it'd be good to be a wizard in a wizarding world. Or a witch, you know. It's just kind of like might makes right kind of vibe to it. Very unpleasant. Turns out that no one but me cares about her. They kind of cared about her the same way I did. They were all fake friends. Lyra knew this. I think you're deluding yourself, Sydney. They cared as much as their jealousy would let them, but my friendship was real. Lyra wouldn't let me hang out with her other friends because she wanted us to be closer than that. What if it had been me? Lyra would care more. She'd do more about it. I think back to that night, and the students that had been there. The way this person had acted strange. I think Apolline had acted strange. The way this person had acted strange. Alice. What did Alice mean by "we'll help you" before they took the body away? Lyra would want to know who did this to me. I need to do that for her too. But see, with those choices, I didn't quite know what those choices meant just then. Apolline and Alice seem suspicious to me. I need to find out which one of them did it. If I don't, when people notice she's gone, how long until fingers start to point in my direction? Until Daniela convinced them it was me, just like she convinced the others. It's too late. You had your chance to go to the police. That's it. Miss Daniela is the lead. Whether it's her or not, I can talk to her before investigating Apolline and Alice even more. I think, basically, the choice was, no matter what you choose, we're talking to Miss Daniela. Oh, I wouldn't be... Oh, gosh. Wait, I'm gonna have to mute it for a second, because I'm about to cough. Yep. I mean, I think that's a sign that we are getting close to the end of this. I think I can comfortably do about an hour to an hour and a half, before my voice gets a bit croaky. Perhaps I'm letting my instincts lead me, but they're the only thing I can go on by right now. I'll get Miss Daniela to talk. I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. For Lyra's sake, I have to at least try. I get lost along the way to Daniela's office and have to backtrack along the hallways a few times. That's a long hallway. I never realized how little I came to the mentor's office wings, and the even fewer times I had come alone without Lyra's chaperoning. Oops. Lyra liked to keep her mentorship personal. Officers felt like the opposite of that to her. I imagine someone like Daniela is the exact opposite. Yes, I'd never met her in person before last week, but you'd have to be stupid not to know her name and what she looks like. People prayed they didn't get her as a mentor. I'd lost touch with most of my cohort. I didn't need the distraction. Okay, so it sounds like Lyra is kind of like separated you from all your friends and stopped you from forming like relationships with other people. It does not sound like a healthy friendship. From what I could tell, Danielle's mentees spoke of her with the cold distances of a quaking underling. After meeting her, I can see why. Her voice commands your attention whether you want to submit or not. Everyone at the scene blamed me just because Daniela suggested it. When I came to her door, I had to master my nerve. When I come to her door, I have to master my nerve and knock with the kind of authority she will respect. I can't show weakness. Lyra told me that much. With people like Daniela, you either stand tall or beg. I wait. Silence comes from the other side, but I check her office. But I check her office hours, and she should be here. I move to knock again, but the door suddenly opens. Office hours finished 3 minutes ago. Come back tomorrow. Daniela might be shorter than me, but her glare makes me feel even smaller. She looks at her watch with pursed lips before slowly shutting the door on me again. Wait. I push against the door and it gives way far easier than I thought. Daniela's face shows shock and then an embarrassed anger. I need to speak to you. Then you should have been punctual. Don't waste any more of my time. What did you do with the body? Daniela waves away stacks of books back onto the shelf, clearing a chair for me to sit. A little bit of magic. On her desk is a strange bird. By the smell that clings to the room, it's been long dead. Ugh. I run my hand along it, from the top of its downy head to the strangely smooth, glass-like spread of its wings. Crystal taxidermy. It takes a lot of patience and time, both of which you are taking. It's beautiful. Daniela clicks her tongue. She seems to not like being ignored. You're a transmutation mentor, right? That's what my specialization is. Is this part of it? A small part. It's more a hobby than anything of use. She doesn't stop me, but she watches me like a bird of prey, ready to jump in should I do something wrong. Screenshot. This is not the corpse you wanted to discuss, Sydney. Can we get back on topic? Ouch! Ouch! Lyra. A thought pops into my head and I feel instantly sick. I've been admiring something that could so easily be Lyra. Ah. Please don't let your wild fantasies get the better of you, Sydney. Daniela snorts amusedly, catching onto my train of thought before I'd come to my own conclusion. My wide eyes and pale face must have given it away. I don't know what you did with Lyra. You could have done anything to her. And I'm an idiot for letting that happen. You are right, I could have. Her snorting laugh breaks into a saccharine giggle that doesn't suit her. It sounds flirtatious until Daniela's hard expression reveals that it's an accident. I don't think we're meant to be a fan of Daniela's. I tell you this because if I had done this to Lyra, it would have been a sculpture nothing short of sublime. You thought about it? I yell, feeling sick. Obsessively. Imagine, Sydney, I could have preserved her body in a way that would accentuate every line of her physique. I could have perfected the density of the crystal to susurrate when I don't know what that word is. When I run my hand along her cheek, it would sound much like her laugh, that constant empty ring. Oh. I mean, this crystal taxidermy actually sounds quite awesome. Suddenly she reins in her demeanor, not Dementor, from her increasingly unhinged rants. What? This is the first time I've liked her. But I didn't. We dealt with her body respectfully. I hope that puts your mind at ease. It doesn't. Well, that sounds like your problem to solve. I think it's your problem too. I have been honest with you, too honest for my liking. When people tell you they're being honest, the irony of it is an insult. Daniela, more than anyone I've met before, makes me feel that irony, because I don't know where the lie is. I want to know where she is. Wait, when someone tells you they're being honest, that's an insult. Because I guess you just want people to be honest with you all the time anyway. Like, they shouldn't need to say, I'm being honest with you, because that implies that there are times when there's not being honest with you. I don't know, I feel like you may say it because you just you want to like emphasize that what you're telling a person is uncomfortable for you, but you're going there anyway because you value honesty. I'm going to disagree with that one. She is safe, Sydney. Daniela stands over me and I fear pushing for an answer. And I fear pushing for an answer will have no effect on her. Okay, I believe you. With that win, Daniela returns to her seat. With my loss, I stand to leave. Our conversation is not done. You'll be my mentee starting tomorrow, and I believe we have things to discuss in that regard. I sit down once again. You've been missing your lectures. Why? I thought the reason was obvious. Too obvious. Try and make it less obvious. Attend classes, see your friends, let your life go back to normal. You will need to catch up on your studies, of course. You do have friends, don't you? I want to answer with my pride, but that would belittle the memory of Lyra. Lyra was my friend. Your only friend? Why do I need other friends? Because now you're all alone, you can't even leave your room. Maybe part of that was because of the circumstances. I don't want to move on. Forgetting is part of healing. Maybe. I'll try and remember that. Lyra was not a parasite. I agree, but those who call her a friend are. Lyra becomes everything to you so easily, and you take from her more than you can ever hope to pay back. Isn't Daniela being oddly specific, or is she just trying to get under my skin with accusations? We weren't like that. What did Lyra get from being so close to you that no one else could give? I rack my brain, wanting there to be something significant enough to prove her wrong. Ouch. Sydney's self-esteem is in the gutter. Like, get a grip, Sydney. You were a valued friend. You see, you're just like a parasite, Sydney. The moment Lyra plucks you off, your whole world shrivels into nothing. That's not productive. You need to move beyond that existence. Daniela with the truth bombs. Oh, gosh. Okay, but we will wrap it up really soon. Like, I'm way over how long I want to spend on it. But I mean, how can I stop when we're getting this kind of tea, you know? Making new friends will be a step in the right direction. Daniela's words sting, and I hate that I didn't lie that I had friends apart from Lyra. Well, you should have given us the choice. Was I really such a burden on Lyra? Lyra would have wanted me to lie and keep her memory dignified, not taint it with all these doubts. I don't think there's any helping you, Sydney. Sophie, do you remember her? The one with purple hair, what about her? Ask her for her old lecture notes. She has penmanship like no other and is always very thorough. I think about rejecting her offer, but seeing Sophie might prove to be more fruitful than continue to be humiliated by Daniela. Daniela zones out, the yellowish glow of entering the hive mind emitting from her eyes. The glow flickers from left to right as she spells out her thoughts. She shakes her head violently with a sharp click of her tongue. What a cheap trick, locking her mind at a time like this. Lock your mind? You can do that? Sophie is a special kind of student, though if you would apply yourself as she has, I do not see why you would not be able to do it. Oof. I have things to do now. Find Sophie yourself. Daniela turns her chair from me, and I feel a tug at the back of my shirt pulling me towards the door. The door slams shut on my face, and a deep thrum casts a protection spell across the whole thing. All this happened within seconds. If I had a second more, I could have pointed out one more important fact I was missing. How do I know where Sophie even is? That's good. Alright. Maybe this is a good time to save it. We can come back to it. Future. That didn't seem to... Okay, yeah. I thought we saved it earlier. Ah, nope. We don't. Alright, so that was Death Becomes You. It's available on Steam. So I don't need to read out the website. Just go to Steam and search for it. That was good. That was a... I mean, I think we were just getting started on that one. Like, that felt like it's sort of like a 30-hour one. And all those relationships are going to be put through the ringer. Yeah. It was good, but as I said, I think it's one of those things where you've got to put in the time. And unfortunately, we just don't have that time to do it. Yeah, well, thank you for joining me for Queer Games Heck Yeah. And I'll see you next time.